What's up, guys? Welcome back to an episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name's Jake, and in today's video, guess what? Ergo's profitable again. Well, at least right at this very moment at the time of recording, which is roughly about 6:30 in the afternoon on Monday. And by the time you watch this video, it may not be, because you know how it is. A lot of hash rate waiting in the wings, just ready to swoop in and scoop up all the Ergo they possibly can and then fly away once it's not profitable again. I guess I'm guilty of it too, and you are probably as well. But anyway, also wanted to talk to you guys about some really shady stuff going on. And if you're not aware of what a bit license is, we're going to discuss that in detail and who's behind it and why you should be worried about it. So, without further ado, let's take a look at my Growatt inverter production. That's right, finally got it working. And unfortunately, it did require a phone call to the manufacturer to figure out why the hell I could not select the US based server. They did have to do it on their end. There was a way that I could have changed it on my end, but without instructions from them, there is nothing out there that would have indicated how to make this change. So before we get into how to make that change, let me show you guys the production for the day. As you can see, we had significant cloud coverage for several hours, kind of at the peak of our normal sunlight hours, so that really kind of hindered production. But hey, that's to be expected. This is, not every day is going to be perfectly bright and sunny, and I expected that going into this, but this does give us a pretty good gauge of what to expect on a decent day. And right now we're coming in at 33.2 kilowatt hours produced by the solar system. And since I installed it just a couple of days ago, we're at 193.4 kilowatt hours. Now, depending on what I'm mining would determine how much of my electricity is going to be covered or essentially wiped out by the production of the solar power. But if I'm mining Caspa and I'm set as efficiently as I can possibly be, then that covers more than 100% of my electric usage. If I'm mining Ergo, that's going to give me close to half, not quite half, depends on my settings really. And if I was mining Ethereum, that would give me roughly about 1/3. So if I'm mining Deoxa or some type of Kapow algorithm, then obviously I'm going to be burning a lot more power. So I have to be really conscientious about what I'm mining and how much power I'm using if I want to try and offset as much of my electric cost as possible with the solar system. But so far from what I've seen, yeah, I'm pretty dang satisfied so far. And for spending $3,000, I mean, some of you might have spent that on a 3090. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the purchase so far. We'll just have to wait and see how things turn out long term, but for the time being, pretty impressive. So what did I have to do to get this freaking software working? Well, let me show you. So if you watched the previous video, you know that whenever I came into this data logger settings, I was having trouble changing the server address. It was set by default to just server.growatt.com. And of course, Growatt is not manufactured in the US, nor is their website made in the US, nor are their servers in the US. So it was not displaying the data from the data logger. So I could not see my energy production unless I physically walked up to the Growatt inverter and pressed some buttons. And here's how you make the change and save it. So obviously you got to check what you're editing. You would put in the correct server address, so server-us.growatt.com. And then, as you may have seen in the previous video, you have to save it, but there isn't a very clear option here to save it. Now you would think, yeah, just hit yes and it saves it. No, it doesn't. You would think, okay, maybe I need to hit the enter key. No, that doesn't do it. Maybe I need to type in yes here and then hit enter. No, that doesn't do it either. According to the person that I spoke to, the Growatt representative or technical support technician, told me that the password is Growatt and then the 4-digit year followed by the 2-digit month followed by the 2-digit day. And then you hit yes and it will apply those changes. So bear in mind, depending on what day that you are trying to make these changes is going to determine what you type in here, which would be the date that you are currently working on it. I guess the password is ever changing, so to speak. So yeah, if you have the same problem that I did, which is that you could not add your data logger to your app because the server was incorrect, that is what you need to change in order to get it. So let's move on to Ergo. So the difficulty has dropped significantly. The EIP 37 has already taken place and difficulty has adjusted. We are now down to 4.41 petahash. And if you take a look at the current hash rate, let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, we got a little dip here. So 46.82 terahash. That's a significant amount to pump in one day. If you take a look at the year chart here, you can see, yeah, we shot right back up here as soon as it became profitable once again. Now, at the moment, it is still profitable. If you take a look at what to mine, now I manually typed in my information here. If you take a look at my farm, this particular farm, I've got one rig that is still mining Radiant, but the others are mining Ergo. And I'm using 2,900 watts, or we'll just call it 3,000 watts, with this Radiant rig using about 400. So let's just say 2,600 watts, and we're at 3.1 gigahash. So we put those numbers in here, adjusted the auto Lycos, and you want to make sure that you adjust your cost per kilowatt hour, and then you want to make sure you either do current values or an average over the last hour. It's very important that you change this. If you leave this at default, it's over the last 24 hours and it's not going to give you accurate information. But as you can see, it does not look like it's the most profitable thing, but you have to scroll down here, and what you will notice is we're actually getting $1.53 in profit per day. Everything else is negative. So yes, it is currently profitable right now at this very moment, about 6:30 in the afternoon on Monday the 3rd. Going back to the hash rate chart over here. So when you look at this spike in hash rate, you know that there's a significant amount of hash rate that is still out there. And if you take a look at some of the other pools, let's take a look at Ravencoin. So Ravencoin hash rate is coming in at roughly 16.26 terahash. We started out the day at about 18 terahash. So looks like, you know, maybe 1 to 2 terahash has left Ravencoin and gone to Ergo, perhaps. If you take a look at Neoxa, looks like Neoxa is about 1.73 terahash, and we started out at 2 terahash today, so not a whole lot of hash rate moved, but a significant amount for Neoxa. If you take a look at Caspa, Caspa's difficulty, or excuse me, network hash rate is now at 221 terahash, and it looks like we started out about 155 network, 156 network terahash down to we'll just say 145. So lost about 10 terahash there. So I would guess that maybe 10 terahash from Caspa has transferred over to Ergo, which is a significant amount. But going back to this chart that we talked about on the last video, this is pre-merge. All of this blue is Ethereum with 90% of the hash rate. And if you recall, we were at roughly 900 terahash. We got up to 1 petahash, but towards the end there, we were at about 90 terahash. And 65% of that network hash rate is not currently mining anything at all. But Ergo just added about 35 terahash. So earlier today, we were at 10 terahash, and then we got all the way up to 56 terahash. So that's 46 terahash. Now, if you do the math, if we had 900 terahash on Ethereum prior to the merge, that's roughly about, we'll just call it 4 to 5% has just gone back to Ergo. Now, you could see that Caspa lost about 10 terahash. Ravencoin lost a couple of terahash there. A few other projects have probably also lost a few there. But what that tells me is that some of these larger farms did turn back on the moment that Ergo became profitable. Maybe not a significant amount. It's, you know, we're not talking about 800 terahash coming back online. But yeah, a significant amount of terahash did come back online whenever Ergo became profitable. So just something to keep in mind, guys. You have to act on this stuff quickly. I apologize for getting the video out to you late, but hopefully you caught Rabid Mining's video the moment that it came out. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification to get the notifications to let you know when he posts a video. Same thing for me. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, and you'll be sure and get the notifications when they are available. So last thing I want to talk to you guys about is what I consider to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, if you know who Chuck Schumer is, he's a wolf in wolf's clothing. There's no doubt about it. He is not a friend of cryptocurrency. He was basically the senator that got the bit license going in New York. And essentially what that means is you got to go through a bunch of extra steps, jump through a bunch of extra hoops in order to trade Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies in the state of New York. Now, recently, they tried to do the same thing in California. But let me see if I can find it here. There we go. So Governor Newsom vetoes the California bit license, calling it premature. So this particular vote, I think it was 71 or 72 votes in total, 100% in favor of a bit license in California, and the governor vetoed it. Wow, that makes him look like the knight in shining armor, right? Yeah, I don't think so. What I think is something that BitBoy Crypto has been alluding to, and that is the fact that there's some very, very shady things going on in the background. The reason I think that he vetoed this bill isn't because he's a buddy to crypto. I think he knows that there is a new proposal to require a bit license on the federal level. Federal meaning any state, not just a specific state. So there is nowhere to hide. And BitBoy is saying that our good friend Sam Bankman-Fried is the one with Chuck Schumer trying to push this through legislation. Now, I've been doing my due diligence. I'm trying to do research on the subject, but I want to show you guys something here. So if you Google Sam Bankman-Fried, Chuck Schumer bit license, you get less than 1 page of results. I find that rather interesting. So what's going on here, Google? You really telling me you have no other suggestions for me with these particular phrases in a Google search? Very odd. Very odd indeed. So let me ask you guys, what do you know about Sam Bankman-Fried? I'm going to read a little bit of his bio to you from Wikipedia. And take this with a grain of salt because, we don't know if Wikipedia is playing by the rules either. So Sam Bankman-Fried, born March 6, 1992, also known by his initials SBF, is an American entrepreneur, billionaire, and investor. He is the founder and CEO of FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange, and FTX.US, its U.S. affiliate. As of February 2022, the exchange has over 1 million users. He also manages assets through Alameda Research, a quantitative cryptocurrency trading firm he founded in October of 2017. He was ranked 60th on the 2022 Forbes billionaire list with a net worth of $24 billion. However, as cryptocurrency prices fell in mid-2022, his net worth reduced to approximately $8 billion. So it says he studied at Stanford. He does have a couple of degrees, but here's the juicy stuff. In the summer of 2013, Bankman-Fried began working at Jane Street Capital. Remember that. A proprietary trading firm trading international ETFs. Initially an intern, he returned there full-time after graduating. In September of 2017, Bankman-Fried quit Jane Street and moved to Berkeley, where he worked briefly at the Center for Effective Altruism as Director of Development from October to November of 2017. In November of 2017, he founded Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm. As of 2021, Bankman-Fried owns approximately 90% of Alameda Research. In January 2018, Bankman-Fried organized an arbitrage trade, moving up to $25 million per day to take advantage on the higher price of Bitcoin in Japan compared to America. After attending a late 2018 cryptocurrency conference in Macau, and while also inspired by the concurrent fork of Bitcoin Cash, he moved to Hong Kong. He founded FTX as a cryptocurrency derivatives exchange in April of 2019, and it launched the following month. On December 8, 2021, Bankman-Fried, along with other industry executives, testified before the Committee on Financial Services in relation to regulating cryptocurrency industry. On May 12, 2022, it was revealed that Emergent Fidelity Technologies, Ltd., which is majority owned by Bankman-Fried, had bought 7.6% of Robinhood Markets Incorporated stock. In September of 2022, it was revealed that Bankman-Fried had offered Elon Musk billions of dollars to fund his purchase of Twitter. According to messages released as part of the lawsuit between Twitter and Musk on April 25, 2022, investment banker Michael Grimes wrote that Bankman-Fried would be willing to commit up to $5 billion. Bankman-Fried is a supporter of effective altruism and pursues earnings to give as an altruistic career. He is a member of Giving What We Can and has claimed that he plans to donate that great majority of his wealth to effective charities over the course of his life. Oh, how sweet of him. Listen, guys, first of all, he was committing $5 billion to help Musk buy Twitter when his net worth is $8 billion, and he's currently in the process of trying to buy every failed crypto company that died as a result of the Terra Luna collapse. Now, where do you think the majority of that selling came from when Terra was collapsing? You need to do some research into this, guys. This guy is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is not a friend of the industry. He is, by trade, one of the Jane Street Capital proprietary trading firm international ETF, your typical punk ass Wall Street banker. That is what he is, guys, through and through. He does not give a shit about crypto. He cares about money, he cares about power, and he's under the guise and fooling everyone to think he's such a charitable person. Yeah, so charitable, he was the second largest donor to the Biden campaign. Okay? When was the last time FTX got in trouble with the SEC? When was the last time FTX was in trouble with anybody? Meanwhile, you got Coinbase getting thrown under the bus daily. Okay? You got to look and pay attention, guys. The ones that are coming out of all of these scenarios without so much as a scratch, those are the ones that are in the backdoor meetings. This guy and Chuck Schumer, according to BitBoy Crypto, are working on a federal bill to make it illegal for anyone to exchange cryptocurrency without a bit license. What that means to me and you is, yeah, we could possibly go to a restaurant and pay for a meal in crypto. Now that restaurant has to immediately claim that as income, okay? They can't exchange it, they can't hold it, they can't do any of that stuff. They can accept crypto. That's part of this bill that they're proposing. But we can't transact between each other. This is going to remove self-custody options for the entire United States. Do you guys understand what that means? Sorry, I'm getting worked up about this. The reason I'm bringing this to y'all's attention is because if you have crypto on FTX, get it off. Get it off now. Do not support this guy or anything that he is trying to do. You're essentially voting with your money, and you're voting for this guy who is trying to do everything that he can to dismantle decentralization. So, having said all of that, guys, go listen to BitBoy Crypto. Look, I know BitBoy is extremely polarizing. Okay, I realize this, but he is privy to some information that you need to be aware of. I'm not saying take everything that he says to heart. He's got his own agendas, but you need to read between the lines. The fact that there is absolutely nothing you can find on Sam Bankman-Fried and Chuck Schumer bit license on Google should tell you everything you need to know. Okay? So do some research on this, guys. Love to hear from you in the comments below. Sorry if I got my tinfoil hat on, but I'm very passionate about this stuff. I do not want to lose decentralization, and these guys are working very hard to destroy it. So do me a favor, hit that like button, share this video with somebody. Get the word out. Get your coins off of FTX. With that being said, I'm out.